You're watching The Lazy Reviewers, and this is the second episode of The Lazy News. This is all the news for the month of July 2021. Starting off, let's take a look at some of the leaks and releases of the month of July. Starting off with Apple, let's talk about the new MacBooks. These will have the M2 chip and they'll be coming out in the first half of 2022. These will not have the M1 chip, which the Macs have, and there will also be the colorful MacBook Airs. Also regarding Apple, one or more of the new iPhones will have the 120Hz display with a smaller notch and an always-on option. And there is still no Touch ID under the screen or anywhere else on the phone. Moving on to Google, the Pixel 6 is going to have 5 years of updates, which is huge. These are not just security patches, these will be full-blown Android updates. This puts it on par with the updates that Apple gives to all of their iPhones. Also, there will be a Pixel Watch coming soon and it looks gorgeous. Really looking forward to that. Now let's move on to all of the mobile phones that were released in the month of July. There were not a lot of releases, but the ones that were amazing. We had phones like the Poco F3 GT, Redmi 10 series, OnePlus Nord 2, and the Realme GT Master Edition. First up, let's talk about the Redmi 10 series. These will be the successors to Redmi 9, Redmi 9A, Redmi 9i, and the Redmi 9 Prime. All of the variants are pretty high spec and they cost very low, so they're going to be good value for money. Next up is the Realme GT 5G Master Edition. It has a slower processor than the normal Realme GT and it is the Snapdragon 870. It has an 108 megapixel rear camera with a 6.5-inch display, 90 Hz only, and a smaller battery, only 4500 mAh. The charging speed is 65 Wh, so that's pretty good. Next, let's talk about the OnePlus Nord 2. This is the successor to the well-received budget phone, the OnePlus Nord. This one has 65 watts of fast charging, a really good battery, 32 megapixel front camera, and a 50 megapixel rear camera. The Snapdragon, does not have the Snapdragon. It has a Dimensity 1200 chip, which is pretty good and pretty fast. Next, let's talk about the Poco F3 GT. It is my favorite launch of the month of July. It is a really good looking phone. Some of the specs are the Dimensity 1200 processor, like the OnePlus Nord 2, 12 GB of RAM, 256 GB of storage on the top model, and it has 120Hz refresh rate, that's pretty good. And it has a 5065 mAh battery with 67 watts of fast charging. One other noticeable mention of the month of July is the Realme X9 series, the X9 and the X9 Pro. These were launched in China and these are the successors to the Realme X7 series. The X9 Pro will have the 870 processor with 65 watts of fast charging and a 4500 mAh battery. The Realme X9, however, is a slower phone with a 770AG processor and only a 4400 mAh battery with fast charging, but I don't know how fast that is yet. Moving on to laptops, we had some pretty extraordinary budget edition laptops this month. These include the MSI Katana and the MSI Pulse. The MSI Pulse has an 11-cin Intel Core i7 processor and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series. These start off at around $1,400 US. The design is pretty gamery and it is grey metal with a lot of sharp lines. The MSI Katana, however, is the more budget-friendly option. It starts off at $999. It also has an 11-cin i7 processor with RTX 30 series graphics. The design, however, is pretty minimal. It's black and even the logo doesn't stand out that much. Well, that's all we have for you today. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more to-the-point unboxings, reviews and much more.